So far this series we've had a hard Brexit, a lot of players leaving, a lot of players coming in, a lot of players basically being exchanged here and there, and it's going to continue in today's episode. Looking forward to trying to bring in some new players. So yes, welcome back to episode 3 of my Tottenham career mode. Now in today's episode we've got some big things to be doing, obviously getting towards the end of August now, so we've got to try and wrap up the transfer window, get some more players through the door if we can. We've got about 15 million pounds to spend, as well as still a number of players to try and get rid of, some big names in there as well, so looking forward to trying to do that if we can in today's episode. Before we go any further though, if we could try and hit 100 likes, then I'd really appreciate it. Also, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below, and that'd be absolutely fantastic too. Let's crack on with things. Game against Burnley for us to play, first of all, in today's episode. I think we are going to go ahead with that. We're still trying to sign Rashford if we can. We need a bit more money to come in. We also need to maybe trade some players out in order to get rid of them. So there's lots to do, but let's focus on this game against Burnley first of all. This is the team I'm going to go with. Butland starts in goal. Klein, Stones, Lascelles and Rose at the back. Gareth Bale, Henderson, Kearney, Sessegnon and Ali in midfield, with Harry Kane starting up front for us. So let's get into things. After 2 games we find ourselves on 6 points in second in the league. United are somehow in front of us at the moment, having played obviously an extra game. Hopefully we can leapfrog them with a victory here against Burnley. Let's wait and see. So I've made some adjustments to the squad numbers, and you'll see that in game hopefully here. If you have any more suggestions about squad numbers that you want changing, just let me know in the comments section below and I'll hopefully try and change the ones I can. Jack Butler's now my number 1 goalkeeper, so he gets the number 1 top. There's a few others changed in there as well. But let's see how we do here against Burnley, hoping we can come away with a victory. Obviously the better team on paper, even though it's not particularly a strong squad in depth, I still think we should have enough in this team to be able to beat them. Kane turns, shoots, just over the bar. Harry Kane yet to score for us in the opening 2 fixtures. Needs a goal really here to get one in August if he can. It's a good turn actually, but unfortunately just a bit too much power on it in the end. Oh, it's awful defending. Should have conceded there. Burnley really should have scored that chance. Big opportunity for them. Terrible defending from us. Allowed them just to do too much with it. It was really, really bad. Had to win it back so much sooner. Ali over to Gareth Bale. Bale trying to do something here. Going to shoot. Big save from the goalkeeper. And Sessegnon still has it into Harry Kane. And he scores. And that is it. We've opened the deadlock. Finally, we've scored a goal past the goalkeeper. And 26 minutes in, Harry Kane gets it. It's a good headed goal. Harry Kane finally on the score sheet for us as well. And a well-played Sessegnon for keeping hold of the ball there, gets it back into him whilst Harry Kane was onside. Bale, the initial shot though, it's a good strike from him. Sessegnon, like I say, though, just sets up Harry Kane really nicely with that goal. Kane still trying to turn and shoot. Again just over the bar. Harry Kane looking much brighter than he has done in the opening 2 fixtures. Really didn't think he looked up to much in the opening games, but this is much better from him. Had 3 shots so far, scored 1 of them, but could quite easily have maybe had a hat-trick at this point. Kane through to Bale. This is a big chance here. Bale has to score. Come on. Yes, he does. 2-0. Gareth Bale this time gets the goal, and it's Harry Kane with the assist. Fantastic bit of play. That sort of pass has been... We've really tried to make that pass so many times so far in this game. And every single time it's been cut out, or Robbie Brady's come back and got on to Gareth Bale. But this time it works, and it's a fantastic bit of hold-up play for Harry Kane, and then a good finish from Bale on his right side. 2-0, and we're looking in a strong position going into half-time. Go on, Harry. Hit this one. Rose, can you pick out anybody in the middle here? Tom Kearney was a late arrival. Kane's a mile offside. It was saved anyway. So close to 3-0, but like I say, Harry Kane was well offside. Should have kept himself on. Don't really know why he had to run off like that. Half-time, 2-0, in a really good position right now. Really impressed actually that we've managed to double our lead in that first half. Often we've seen in the opening 2 fixtures, it's been 1-0, then 2-0 by the end of the game. Good to see we finally get the second goal in the first half. Bale in a good position to shoot. I mean, it was a good position, it just wasn't a very good shot. Should have done so much better, really, I think, on his left foot in that sort of position. Okay, all 3 changes now, about 25 minutes to go here. Evans, Edwards and Trippier to come on. We'll take off John Stones, Gareth Bale and Ali, rest those guys, and try out a few different players as well. Kieran Trippier, obviously, is a right mid here. Edwards playing just in behind Harry Kane. Let's freshen things up. Also want to try out Johnny Evans in that position, so, yeah, just really to sort of mix things up slightly here. Chris Wood running forward. Well played. Butland came out so quickly there. Chris Wood didn't know what was happening. Fantastic save. Should have quite easily conceded there, to be honest. And if Burnley had taken their chances, which haven't been that many, but if they had taken the 2 chances they've had, they would probably be level here. And Rose still trying to get across, and if he can, waiting for somebody. Edwards over to Jordan Henderson to hit it. I wanted a third, but running out of time here 20 minutes ago. Tom Kearney. It's a really good hit actually. Good save though to match it. He'll go out for a corner here. Just about 10 minutes to go now in this game. And I've just got to see it out really, make sure we don't concede. But I'm still pushing for a third. Good ball in, but headed away. Rose trying to cross into Kane. Oh, headed out. Edwards trying to pounce on it. Jordan Henderson will instead. Oh, what a hit, Jordan Henderson. It's 3-0. Hit it so sweetly. And luckily, Tom Heaton was off his line. It dips over him. And with 6 minutes to go, it's now 3-0. What a hit from Jordan Henderson. And who is actually captaining the team in this game. Just falls to him so nicely. Just had to hit it. One of those situations where everyone just wants to hit that straight away. And we did. And it dipped lovely for him. Kane didn't win the first one. Edwards didn't win the second. But just nice little touch, and then smacks it, and the dip on that is incredible. 3-0. Well, that's it. Finishes 3-0. Really, really happy with how we've done there. Just fantastically solid performance. Okay, Burnley had 2-3 chances, which another day they might well have scored. So we have managed to come away fairly lucky with a clean sheet there. But the stats certainly showing that both teams had chances there. 6 shots for Burnley, 4 on target. It's actually quite an impressive return for them. But overall, we just did enough to win the game. Okay, so player drills this week. And we see Oakley Booth go up to 63 overall. That's great news. I think he's still 17 years old. So really impressed actually with him. Hopefully he'll get some game time in some of the cup matches this season. Because I think he might have a really good future for us. And he certainly plays quite well in games. So he could be a good player. Okay, so with 2 days left on the transfer window. We're going to try and make a few more moves here. This time it's going to be for Marcus Rashford. We tried last episode, didn't really have enough cash, so I'm going to try a slightly different deal if possible to be able to bring him in. Basically, we're going to have to try and get rid of Lloris somehow. So maybe as part of this deal, if they want him. No, not interested. They still just want a right winger. And again, we still just have Lamela to give them, which I don't think was enough last time. So it doesn't seem like this deal is going to go anywhere, but we're still going to go ahead with it. 14 million, just see what they say to that. They want 17, which is not something we can really do. 14.5 and the sell-on clause. 17. 15? Yes. Alright, 15's been agreed, but I still don't think we've got enough on the wage there. Not to cover his bonuses as well. Before we go into negotiations for Rashford, though, we are going to also try and bring in Lingard in a separate deal. That's going to be for Moussa Dembele, or at least we're going to try and make it for Moussa Dembele. Again, not interested. They just want a right winger. Why are they obsessed with a right winger? And of course, we can't offer them Lamela because he's part of a different deal. Okay, let's end negotiations there for Lingard. That's just awkward. I almost feel like I just want to leave the Rashford deal another couple of days and just hope we get some offer in for somebody. Okay, Jan Vertonghen sold. Fantastic. I totally forgot about that deal. That's great news for us. That helps us out a lot. He's gone to Barcelona. Completely forgot about us arranging that last episode, which means we can get on with the deal for Rashford now, which is fantastic. Does leave us with plenty of cash. That's what makes it more annoying that the Lingard deal won't happen now. Maybe it'll happen next window, I'll have to wait and see. But we're going to focus on Rashford, try and bring him in. He's going to be really good for us if we can get him in. I think we'll just offer Rashford 100 grand a week, see what he says to that. Currently on 65, 5-year deal. Hopefully goes for it. Yep. Just wanted to get the deal done. Might be overpaying slightly, but like I say, important to get these deals done when you go into transfer deadline day. So Rashford joins us. That's a fantastic signing for us. Like I say, he can play as a left mid, striker, right mid, so it's going to be really helpful across the board, really, going forward. I'm sure he can play in behind the striker as well. So good to see him join us. There's still been more signings to be made, though, I think, because we need to get rid of some more players. So it does mean that we have to bring in, I think, a few more. Okay, the next deal's a little bit of a different one. It's for James Maddison, obviously at Norwich City, 20 years old, 75 overall, English player. I want to try and bring in as a backup to Dele Alli. Obviously, we're going to go for Lingard. It's not going to happen in this window. It might happen in January. But for now, we're going to try and bring in this guy. So we do need a cover at centre attacking mid. So we need to try and find someone that kind of fits what we're after. And so I'm not really too sure who to get rid of. There's options with Wanyama, but he's probably going to be too expensive, really. I might be left with no choice just to go with that and see what they say. Nope, still not happy. Not a right winger. Why does everyone want a right winger? I don't have anyone to offer you. Everyone's gone. Okay, let's just go £10 million then, see what they say to that. I don't really want to have to go cash, but they're going to be a little bit awkward by the looks of it. And we'll go 11 and hopefully get that deal sorted between us and Norwich. No, okay, even more awkward. 11.5, just accept it. Are we seriously messing around over 100 grand? Come on. This is ridiculous. Right, £11.6 million, done. Let's try and get some sort of contract agreed if they're not going to be too picky. Okay, currently on 24 grand a week. It's always difficult. It's just a stab in the dark on this. I'm going to go 40. See what he says. 34.5 he's happy with, and a signing on bonus. Can we negotiate any further down than that? Just because you were awkward with me, I'm going to be a bit awkward with you. 32 grand and a signing on bonus. No, okay. I think you're the real winner here anyway. 34.5 grand is what we'll go with. And he'll join us, James Maddison here from Norwich. Just need to bring in a backup centre attacking mid. He's got a lot of growth in him as well, so he's not going to be starting, but he will be floating around the bench. Probably will take up Harry Winks' current position on the bench there as well. But I just felt it was important to have someone there to back him up a little bit. He'll probably end up taking over from Edwards, to be honest, but there'll be space for him certainly on the bench. I'm looking forward to using both Rashford and Maddison in the near future. Sterling will drop out, quite obviously, has to really. He's not quite good enough for the bench. Still maybe looking for one more out-and-out striker. I don't think we've got really got enough for just Kane and Rashford, so we're going to have to look at that one possibly. Think about it, Rashford will probably get in the team at left mid, so that means Sessegnon drops out of the team. We'll go with that for now. Rashford might end up just being more of a backup striker to Kane. I don't know. We'll change things around slightly, but I certainly feel like we need another striker to come in, even though we do have Sterling. He's not really ready for us in the near future. Okay, so I've been looking at other strikers, and I've been trying to get a deal done for Danny Ings, and I've accidentally got a deal done for Danny Ings without me actually expecting to. So a deal has been agreed, £14 million. I've basically just offered them straight cash. I tried to give them a player. They wanted a right back. I don't have a right back that I can give them. So it was really frustrating. I had to go money again, which is something I don't want to do. I want to be getting rid of the players I have at the club, which means we're going to be left over with Dembele, Wanyama, Eriksen and Lloris to not play until January, and then we'll hopefully try and sell them. But we'll see what happens here anyway. Hopefully we can negotiate for Danny Ings to join us. Don't really have any idea of his wage. I didn't have any idea of his value either, so kind of just shooting into the dark, and we'll wait and see what happens. He wants to be sporadic first team player, which is already helpful. 110 grand, signing a bonus of just under £1.5 million. So let's see what he says to that. And he has agreed to it. Okay, that's basically what we managed to come up with in negotiations. At least he does join us. We get another striker. Not too sure of his overall, but he'll be good enough for now at least. And we can always replace these players in January pretty easily through trade deals. Let's see what overall, 76. Okay, not quite as good as I was hoping for, but I'm sure he could go up and overall. It'll be fine as a backup, obviously, to Harry Kane. We also have Rashford, who's a backup technically as well. But overall, really happy with that. That does near enough conclude our business, I think, in this window, unless we can get someone sold in the next 8 or 9 hours. And I think that probably will be everything. So that leaves our starting level looking like this at the moment. Obviously players can come in and out. This is just based on current form. And this is what our bench looks like as well. So much healthier on the bench, which is good to see. But still quite clearly some areas where we can quite comfortably improve in January. But yeah, very happy with what we've got at the moment. It can all change in the final 8 hours, I think is what we've got left. There's still a lot of time for players to be sold potentially if offers come in. But they're going to have to be big offers from big clubs. We'll wait and see whether that happens for our star players. Okay, so it's definitely not a star player. It's definitely not a big offer. It's definitely not from a big club. So it's a loan offer here for Marcus Edwards. We're obviously going to reject it. I think he'll be needed as a squad player this season. There's a lot of games to play. We don't have loads of homegrown players, so we're going to keep him. 7 hours to go. Fingers crossed we get a proper bid in. So I tried to sign Raheem Sterling in the very last couple of hours. Just thought I'd chuck in Eriksen, see what they said. Even though Eriksen's worth a lot more than Sterling, they're not interested. They want a right mid. So let's end that negotiations. I don't know what will happen this window. There's plenty of time in January. Eriksen will be sold in January. So will Lloris. So will Wanyama and Dembele, I hope, as well. So there's loads of time for that. There's still some other players I could quite easily sign at some point as well. The likes of Jack Grealish, Vieira, I want to try and bring in as like squad players. But for now, at least in this window, I think our squad's going to be pretty small, which is fine. We'll get through to the January window, I think, without too many problems, I hope. Okay, so that ends that transfer window. Didn't manage to get any deals done on the deadline day, or not any going out anyway. So pretty happy overall with what we've done in terms of bringing in players. Still some players to obviously leave us, as I mentioned. But I think we've got January, which hopefully will see some more players depart. Some monthly scout updates to take a look at here. Some Scottish players. To reject, basically. Not very good at all. And then on to the English players, who, to be honest, aren't much better. Gareth Bale wins Player of the Month, which is good for us. And, of course, now we've left the transfer window, we start to get offers in for some of the players we're trying to get rid of. West Brom coming in here for Michael Vaughan. I mean, it'd be great if we could have these deals tied up, ready for the January transfer window. It's just a shame they couldn't have done it just a few days ago. That would be nice. £5.8 million, to be honest, we're just going to accept that for Vaughan. That's quite a good offer. This week, Kyle Walker-Peters goes up to 68 overall. Again, great news to see our youngsters go up quite consistently as well, so that's good to see. Hopefully more progress over the next few weeks and months. We will play, I think, one more game. This game against Everton will be our last match of the episode. Currently find ourselves top of the league in front of Arsenal on goal difference, presumably. That's just good to see. Currently got a 100% record. And I think Vorma's just been sold to West Brom. That deal's happened pretty quickly. When the window opens again, he will leave and we'll get £4.2 million. Sessegnon wants to start the upcoming game against Everton. Not too sure about that. Wouldn't mind giving Rashford a run out, although there is another game in 3 days' time. Okay, so Sessegnon will start for us in this game rather than Rashford. We'll go with the exact same team once again, and we'll probably make some changes next episode for the Leipzig game. This is the bench though. We've got Rashford on there, Danny Ings. These sort of players will probably come on at some point during this game for a quick run out, so we have an idea of what they're going to be like for the full game or their full debut that they'll make in the next match. Let's go with this one. Final game of today's episode against Everton. Hopefully get ourselves another 3 points and make it 12 from 12. Okay, let's crack on with this game at Goodison Park against Everton. Let's go. Let's try and get ourselves a victory once again. Hopefully put in a good performance like the first game of today's episode. And then we'll bring on the new signings and see how they get on. Sessegnon going to try and pick out Kane in the middle. It's going to hit the back post instead. And it's 1-0. Gareth Bale's there to head it into the back of the net from one winger to the other. Good little cross down from Sessegnon and a good run actually from Bale. Wasn't anticipating him to be there. Was trying to pick out Kane, but he was heavily marked in the box. And luckily Bale sneaks in and heads it in as well. So he's starting to pick up a few goals like Gareth Bale. I was worried by his sort of opening 2 fixtures where he didn't really do that much. But the last 2 games he has been particularly good and obviously got a couple of goals now. And hopefully going to get a few more here. Tom Kearney into Dele Alli. Oh, could have easily been 2-0 there, but a big save from Pickford, who is a goalkeeper we're hopefully going to try and bring in the next transfer window as sort of a rival to Jack Butland and maybe even a starter over Jack Butland, but big save from him, and it's going to be a corner for Bale to deliver into the box, and Stones is in there, but beaten to it. It's half-time, still 1-0, happy to be in front, but still need to try and push that second and hopefully third goal as well in this game. Comfortable at the back, not had as many sort of opportunities for the opposition to score, which is good. That's an improvement on the Burnley game. We are very much in control of this match. Everton still have the ball here, not managing to clear that corner very well at all. Schneiderlin holding it up, but Sessegnon wins it back in a good position. Now a chance to break if Ali and Harry Kane are going to start moving, which does seem to be a problem I've noticed. The lack of movement from those two in particular. Kane now going to try and take a shot. Oh, had to be saved by Pickford. I mean, Kane was never going to run that far, let's be honest, but Pickford saves it, and we've got ourselves a corner here. We'll wait a little bit longer before we make the changes. Bale will now try and deliver this corner into the box. Can we find a flick on, or just, good chance actually. It had to be saved by Pickford, good reflexes. I was hoping we could find a flick on, but it was more like a shot in the end. Henderson puts it back in, and a big chance there for Stones, but beaten to it again. Sessegnon, ball into that post for Kane, beaten to it there, and trying to challenge Pickford for it, who punches away still. Good chance there for Kane, but just was beaten to it, I think, by Michael Keane, who's looked really good in this game. Okay, all 3 changes. Whether we've got enough time to actually see them be made, I'm not really too sure, but there's about 20 minutes to go. Hopefully the ball goes off at some point. Ings, Maddison and Rashford to come on. We'll take off Kane, Bale and Dele Alli. The changes that you probably expect at this point, just to try those guys out before the next fixture. Okay, so booted the ball out. They'll get about 15 minutes, and we'll wait and see what sort of performance they're able to put in during that time. Everton really throwing everyone forward now as they search for an equalising goal. I don't blame them. I'm hoping that maybe helps us in the counter-attack. Danny Ings is going forward still. Heads down. Good chance for Henderson to play through Rashford, but intercepted by Jagielka. No. Oh, it's a goal. Of course it is. Everton barely had any chances in this game. They've had maybe one, which I remember Butland saving well, but other than that, it's their first proper chance with 10 minutes to go. And Saldice's team have an equalising goal, but there's still 10 minutes. Hopefully, with those fresh legs, we can do something. But it's just annoying we're taking off some good players. And, yeah, I mean, the players are brought on are still good, and have fresh legs, I suppose. Is Ings offside? Oh, we'll get there anyway. Rashford waiting for the ball through, chance to cross here, big chance, all cleared away. Tom Kearney to hit it, deflects into the back of the net. It's 2-1, very, very fluky, but Tom Kearney's done it with a deflected shot. 5 minutes to go, and we are back in front. As easy as that. You try so long to get a second goal, and then you have to wait until you concede to get it. But it's a heavily deflected shot. It'll still go down as his, I think, but obviously goes the complete opposite direction. I'm not complaining, it goes in, and Tom Kearney has scored a goal there. Pickford maybe should do better, but I mean, it is right in the corner to be fair, and it's 2-1. That's the most important thing. Let's just leave it at 2-1. That's it. 2-1 it finishes, and we got ourselves 3 points from that game. Really pleased with how we've done there. to be able to scrape something from the match, having conceded very late on. And yeah, it's fully deserved. We're the better team, so we deserve to have won, but we should have really got the second goal much quicker than we did. But still, we got it, and we win the game. And just 3 days later, we have another game to play against Leipzig in the Champions League. Looking forward to that, actually. Next episode should be good. This is our group: Benfica, ourselves, Besiktas, and Leipzig. So 3 decent teams. There's no sort of weak team there, I don't think. All 3 of them are a similar sort of level to each other. And we'll have to wait and see exactly what sort of games we get. But it's going to be a tough competition, I think, especially with the squad size we have. This is going to be the real test, is competing in many competitions with such a small group of players to work with. So, yeah, we'll still have to add to it in January. Jack Grealish might be one of those players that comes in. But Maddison showed good signs in the 15 minutes he played, and he'll play, I think, in this next game, next episode. But that's everything for today's episode. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. If we could try and hit 100 likes, then I'd really appreciate it. Also, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and that'd be absolutely fantastic. Trying to push towards 20k subs right now, and so let me know in the comments section below if you are newly subscribed, and I'd really appreciate you doing that if you're not. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.